Palin was received like a rock star as the keynote speaker at the Tea Party convention Saturday night in Nashville, where she took some jabs at President Obama. Take a look.
We need a commander-in-chief, not a professor of law standing at the lectern. Now, a year later, I got to ask those supporters of all that, how's that hopey-changey stuff working out for you?
Palin criticized Obama's everything, his use of a teleprompter, but apparently when she was speaking at the Tea Party convention Saturday night, she appeared to have some notes written on her hand. So, you know, whatever sinks your boat. Sarah was also candid. Sorry, baby.
I was going to say, it's funny when you make fun of somebody doing a teleprompter, you know, you might want that in the future because a lot of people use teleprompters. But now since you put that out there, I don't know if you can use a teleprompter now. You got to use your hand.
But he's done a lot of things. I mean, he had that whole meeting with the Republicans in which he wasn't using a teleprompter. He's having another meeting with them on health care. You know, he doesn't always use a teleprompter.
When you don't have a lot to say, you go
in front of a 6th grade class using a teleprompter. The Daily Show did a whole bit on it, which I thought was funny as well.
Well, I must tell you, as someone who uses a teleprompter, thank God it's there. Sarah, you know, because I sound a lot smarter than I am. Now, Sarah was also more candid than usual about a possible presidential run in 2012 on a Fox News interview Sunday. Take a look.
Why wouldn't you run for president?
I would if I believe that that is the right thing to do for our country and for the Palin family. Certainly, I would do so.
By the way, in my interview with her, which was, what, a couple months ago, when I asked her this question, oh, it wasn't even in her thinking.
Well, so maybe she's going through hopey-changey.
But I think, now it seems like, now it seems like she's getting out there. She's kind of feeling the temperature of what's going on, and, now she's getting prepped. And
she's very popular.
Yeah. But, Barbara, something else is bugging you about this.
By the way, I can't help wondering what your father thinks, because we would not have known about Sarah Palin if it hadn't been...
Girl, seriously, like, I love you. I love this show. I got a book coming out in August. I'd be happy to come back and tell you everything in August.
Okay, we're going to hold you to it. Okay. You're such a good sport, because we talk about politics, pro and con, and you're part of it, and you just handle yourself so well.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
Okay.
But this is one thing that...
If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Okay, I can handle it. I love being here. You've got to be able to take it.
Let me tell you the two things that troubled me a little bit. One, Sarah Palin was asked what President Obama could do if he wanted to be reelected, and she suggested in serious that maybe what he could do in being tougher was to declare a war on Iran. That gave me some pause. But the other thing that I think about...
So we got Afghanistan, we got the third war.
It would show how tough he was if he declared war on Iran.
But she should never go to war unless it's the absolute last circumstance. This is one thing I will say.
She thought that would make him look tougher. I don't have the exact quote, but that's it. But here I do have the exact quote, because we had talked about this earlier when Rahm Emanuel, the president's chief of staff, in a very private meeting, used the word retarded, and he has apologized, and ARC, which is the organization that used to be the Association for the Help of Retarded Children, is now just called ARC. They had a meeting with him. They accepted his apology. He didn't mean to say it. It was insensitive, etc. Okay, and Sarah Palin said he should be fired. Now, then in this interview, they talked about Rush Limbaugh, who said, our politically correct society is acting like some giant insult is taking place by calling a bunch of people who are retards, retards. Sarah Palin said, talking about the politically correct, they are kooks. I agree with Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was using satire. Rahm Emanuel should be fired. Rush Limbaugh was using satire.
Yeah, well, when he appears at Caroline's, the comedy club, I'll believe it was satirical.
I also think what's important to note about this is this is exactly what is wrong with politics today. It's exactly what's going wrong. We can't placate and say Democrats can say one thing and Republicans can say another thing. It's exactly a perfect example of what is wrong in this country today.
Well, you have a couple of issues, not issues, but there are some things about the Tea Party that have been bugging you.
People were saying that this is the new movement in the Republican Party, and the first, I did not want to go. I have very much ideological differences with them, but Congressman Tancredo went on TV, and he was the first opening speaker, and he said that people who could not even spell the word vote or say it in English put a committed socialist ideologue in the White House whose name is Barack Hussein Obama. And then he went on to say that people at the convention should have to pass literacy tests in order to be able to vote in this country, which is the same thing that happened in the 50s to prevent African Americans from voting. And it's innate racism. And I think it's why young people are turned off by this movement. And I'm sorry, revolutions start with young people, not with 65-year-old people talking about literacy tests and people who can't say the word vote in English. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's insane because, you know, when, you know, and again, this is one of those things where someone has said something really dumb in front of other people, and okay, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But at least get your facts right. I believe a whole lot of educated folks and people who can spell, including myself, voted for this president with the hopes that there would be a difference in the direction we were going in. Does he do everything we want him to do? No. Is he going to be the greatest president? I don't know. But
the changey thing.
But you know, he at least. Never mind, I won't get ugly.
Well, but also, too, one of the big labels is that he's a socialist or a communist, and that's a pretty broad label.
Yeah.
Because you may or may not like his health plan. So what you're talking about, and what we're all talking about, is the division that we feel in this country now, and the rage that we feel in this country now. And whatever party it is, it's very frightening that we feel this way, and we can only hope that maybe this meeting with the Democrats and the Republicans will make some little difference, because it seems to have gone too far. Don't you think so?
I completely agree. Maya Angelou says we have more in common than we do apart. We need to use this message in politics more and make speeches about it all the time. I have one tomorrow at George Washington University. This rhetoric will continue to turn off young voters, and anybody that says different is smoking something, period.
Okay.